the aura that precedes destiny. Since the beginning of time, scholars of the human spirit have tried to understand why some ascend to success while others founder in seas of uncertainty. Many attributed triumph to mysterious forces, luck, divine blessing, or favorable circumstances. But the true masters, those who investigated the human mind with courage and precision, perceived something far deeper. Before success exists in the material world, it exists in the aura, in the inner field, in the vibration that each human being carries and emits continuously. You can't achieve something whose frequency you don't sustain. And it's impossible to sustain a frequency for which your mind hasn't been trained. An aura of success is not an isolated mystical concept. It is a psychological, emotional, spiritual, and vibrational phenomenon. It is the combination of belief, focus, discipline, purpose, gratitude, and inner mastery. All of this forms an energy field that precedes your reality, shapes your choices, and consequently determines your destiny. Napoleon Hill dedicated decades to investigating this invisible field. He called him mental vibration, harmony, state of consciousness, mastery of the inner self. Today, we call it aura. The aura is not something too mystical to be understood. It is the sum of what you think, feel, believe, repeat, accept, and project. It's their creative field. And all creation begins in the invisible, the internal state that creates reality. The world lives believing that happiness is a consequence. But in the philosophy of aura of success, happiness is cause. It is the initial frequency that prepares the ground for all prosperity. Happiness is not a prize awarded at the end of the journey. She is the energy that allows the journey to happen. The human being who understands this stops expecting the world to provide ideal conditions. He understands that the mind is the source, the generator, the operational center of reality itself. While most people seek to change their external environment in order to feel peace, the individual who builds an aura of success learns to first generate peace, knowing that the scenario will inevitably adjust to the dominant vibration. That's the difference between reacting and creating. To react is to live like a boat being pushed by the wind. To create is to be the very force that moves the winds. Daily happiness is not a fragile emotional state. It is an energetic and mental stance that affirms, I control my vibration, not the other way around. This positioning is the center of the aura. The power of focus, the law that expands the aura. Every person lives surrounded by millions of stimuli, but only a few are chosen to receive attention, and what receives attention expands. That's a law as precise as gravity. Attention is the currency of the aura. What you pay attention to grows, returns, comes closer. It's impossible to cultivate an aura of prosperity while watering daily. Fear, the doubt, the lack, the comparison, negativity, the complaint, mental disorder. Human vibration does not respond to what a person desires, it responds to what they sustain. Therefore, focus is more than just a habit. It's a creative tool. It is the brush that paints the aura, which in turn attracts equivalent experiences. A trained mind directs its focus. The undisciplined mind is led astray by it. And the difference between these two states is the difference between someone who creates their own life and someone who merely watches it unfold. Emotional mastery, the core of personal power. No aura becomes magnetic without emotional discipline. Happiness is not the absence of turbulence. It is sheer consciousness within the turbulence. Napoleon Hill observed that men who lost fortunes maintained their composure. Why? Because their emotions were not slaves to the moment. Yes, servants of purpose. The aura of success is born precisely there, in the decision not to allow external chaos to dictate internal energy. For many, this seems impossible. But it's actually a skill. And like any skill, it can and should be trained. To be prosperous is to be emotionally stable. Every great work has been built by minds that have overcome challenges without losing their inner focus. And this axis is the vibration of the aura. A vibration that says, I am bigger than the moment. I am bigger than the obstacle. I remain in charge. Gratitude is a frequency of expansion. Gratitude is the dawn of prosperity. It is the first light that touches the aura upon awakening. It's a daily reminder that you are already abundant. Therefore, you can expand even further. Gratitude adjusts the lens of consciousness. It shifts the focus from what is lacking to what already exists. And everything that is recognized grows. Hill described gratitude as spiritual fuel. In the context of aura of success, is a vibrational key. When gratitude is practiced, fear is losing ground. Scarcity dissolves, the body relaxes, the mind expands, the energy rises, and the aura lights up. It's no coincidence that grateful people thrive. It's a consequence. Trials as refinements of the aura. A diamond doesn't become a diamond without pressure. A mind doesn't become extraordinary without challenges. In the same way that friction shapes metal, adversity shapes the aura. Every challenge carries with it an opportunity for vibrational expansion. It's not punishment, it's preparation. It's not blocking, it's strengthening. The average person avoids difficulty. The person who builds an aura of success understands that. Each delay refines it, each obstacle trains her, each pain deepens it, every failure teaches her, and each test raises your level of internal mastery. It's not about loving the difficulty, but about understanding its role in building greatness. The universe doesn't test in order to punish. Testa per expand. Forgiveness as a purification of the energy field. There's no such thing as a luminous aura carrying emotional weight. Resentment casts a shadow. Resentment stagnates energy. Trapped anger poisons the vibe. Forgiving is not about justifying the other person. It is to break free from one's own vibrational prison. When someone holds on to old emotions, he also keeps your aura trapped in the past. Without forgiveness, energy does not flow. Without circulation, there is no magnetism. Without magnetism, there is no prosperity. Forgiveness is a deep cleansing of the field. It's an invisible rebirth. It is the breaking of the shackles that held the soul at a low frequency. Forgiving is moving forward, and prosperity only exists in movement. Impatience as a frequency break. Impatience is one of the great thieves of prosperity. It stems from the belief that something is overdue, when in reality, everything is under construction. Impatience creates anxiety, mental disorder, power outage, loss of focus, vibrational rupture. The person who believes they are behind schedule creates delay. The person who believes they are in the right rhythm creates fluidity. An aura of success, it's a field of trust. It's not passivity, it's spiritual maturity. Comparing your journey to others means disconnecting from your own frequency. Each path has its own time. Every dream has its own cycle. Each life has its own rhythm. Prosperity doesn't flourish in haste. It flourishes in certainty. The aura as identity, internal evolution. Every aura is shaped by an identity. And all identity is shaped by repetition. Hill called this a cosmic habit. In vibrational terms, it means you become what you repeat. Your aura is a reflection of what you repeat. If someone repeats complaint, pessimism, criticism, victimhood, his aura weakens. Its creative force fades. If someone repeats gratitude, purpose, focus, discipline, courage, your aura is strengthening. Its vibration rises. His presence becomes magnetic. Identity is energy. And a strong sense of self creates a strong aura. A high aura creates a high life. Accepting the gift, the aura comes into alignment. The present is the only place where strength exists. Resisting the present is wasting energy. Accepting it means aligning yourself with it. An aura of success, it doesn't develop when a person tries to change everything at once. But when she learns to house the present moment as a point of power, acceptance is not conformity, it's clear. It is active peace. It's vibrational intelligence. Each phase has a purpose. Each step has a function. Each moment is a brick in the construction of the aura. Reality doesn't need to be perfect for the aura to be aligned. Living consciously. The mind as architect of the aura. Most people live by reacting. To react is to live as a shadow of the world. To create is to live like light. Living consciously means observe before acting, breathe before reacting, think before you speak, align before deciding. The aura is strengthened in consciousness. It becomes fragmented due to impulsiveness. A conscious life creates a stable, deep, magnetic vibration. And all prosperity thrives on stability. The ritual of the 3 moments, the daily formation of the aura 1. The morning shapes the vibe. No cell phone, no noise, no distractions. Just breath, gratitude, silence, and intention. 2. The day tests the alignment. And the person asks, does this energy serve my purpose? 3. Nighttime shapes the conscience. Reflection, forgiveness, closing the cycle and preparing the energy for the next dawn. This ritual creates vibrational consistency. Consistency breeds prosperity. Total responsibility, the aura's turning point. Nothing strengthens your aura like taking responsibility for your own happiness. Responsibility is freedom. Freedom is strength. Force is vibration. When a person declares, "My joy is mine," she abandons to blame, victimization, emotional dependency, energy fluctuation. At that moment, its aura ceases to be reactive. It becomes creator. This is the beginning of true prosperity. This is the birth of true strength. This is the foundation of aura of success. The construction of the aura, the invisible art that creates the visible. Most people spend their entire lives trying to modify their external reality, without realizing that all reality is merely a belated reflection of what has been built internally. They believe that destiny is the result of circumstances, but the great masters, those who have learned to manipulate their own vibration, know that destiny is the result. OF aura. The aura is the energetic blueprint of the future. The future is the belated materialization of the aura. Nothing reaches the physical world without first having been shaped in the invisible realm. No victory appears without first having been conceived in vibration. No transformation happens without first being accepted by the mind. Whoever builds their aura, builds their life. Those who ignore the aura repeat old patterns. Therefore, true wealth doesn't begin with money. It starts with mental clarity, emotional strength, and high vibration. These are the 3 invisible pillars of visible prosperity. Clarity as the first pillar of the aura. Clarity is the light that reveals the path. A confused mind creates a confused aura, and a confusing atmosphere creates confusing results. The individual who awakens to the truth understands that they cannot carry contradictory beliefs, opposing desires, mixed intentions, loose objects, misaligned thoughts, and still expect prosperity. The aura needs to be unified. The mind needs to be directed. The intention needs to be firm. Napoleon Hill called this force definiteness of purpose, a aura of successful vibration intention. When a human being decides what type of energy they want to carry, what type of life they want to create, and what type of future they want to attract, their aura becomes organized. And when the aura organizes itself, the universe responds. Clarity is not just vision, it's vibration. The second pillar, emotional strength. A weak aura cannot sustain great achievements. An unstable aura does not attract new opportunities. A fragmented aura does not create lasting prosperity. Emotional strength is the ability to maintain balance in difficult times, focus when everything distracts you, peace even in turbulence, trust amidst uncertainty. The external world continually tests our internal vibration. He asks silently, do you truly believe what you say you believe? Do you truly uphold the energy you claim to uphold? Is your purpose stronger than your fears? Is your focus stronger than your doubt? Every challenge is a question. Every victory is an answer. Emotional strength transforms every obstacle into fuel, and this fuel nourishes the aura with renewed power. The third pillar, high vibration. One of the most profound principles of aura philosophy is simple, yet ignored by most. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you vibrate with. No matter how much a person desires prosperity, health, love, peace, success, or expansion, if their vibration is misaligned, these elements will not materialize. The universe does not respond to human language. It responds to the language of energy. Therefore, high vibration is the center of the aura. It is constructed through gratitude, purpose, discipline, elevated thoughts, trained emotions, focused unwavering faith, constant intention. Vibration is the spiritual signature of a human being. It's your calling card to the universe. The aura as a magnetic field of prosperity. Napoleon Hill claimed that the mind is a magnet. An aura of success. He claims that the aura is his magnetic programming. The higher the field, the more easily ideas arrive, opportunities arise, connections appear, solutions are revealed, doors open, the paths fit together. It's no coincidence. It's vibration. What many call luck is nothing more than an aura aligned with the flow of prosperity. What many call bad luck is just ... an aura that is misaligned, fragmented, or weakened. Life responds to energetic state, not to empty intention. Aura protection. The importance of the energy circle. There's no powerful aura without protection. Napoleon Hill studied in depth the effect of negative influences, calling them destructive forces of the mind. In aura philosophy, these influences are seen as energy invaders. The aura needs to be protected from toxic people, negative conversations, chaotic environments, news that drains, energies that destabilize, habits that weaken, voices that diminish, comparisons that corrode. Protection is not isolation, it's discernment. A prosperous aura is selective. She doesn't allow any influence to get in, because it knows that every influence alters its vibration. Prosperity does not grow in contaminated soil. It thrives in clean, protected, and nourished soil. The power of silence in building the aura. Few understand the role of silence. But the masters always knew. The mind reveals itself in silence. Energy aligns in silence. The aura grows stronger in silence. Silence is not the absence of sound, but presence of awareness. It is in silence that the individual listens to your own truth, identifies thoughts that are not your own, perceive its true vibration, returns to the center, reconnects on purpose, access inspiration. In a noisy world, thriving is an act of courage, and silence is an act of power. To aura and to her from internal cause, common belief holds that happiness comes when life gets better. Mass aura of success. It teaches that life improves when happiness becomes the cause, not the consequence. It all starts from within. Nothing starts outside. This is the law of internal cause. The aura is the cause. Life is the effect. The mind is the cause. The results are delayed effects. Vibration is the cause. Experiences are answers. When a human being takes responsibility for their own vibration, he takes responsibility for his own destiny. This is the spiritual autonomy that creates true prosperity. The aura as an extension of purpose. Purpose is not just an external mission. It is an internal frequency. It guides choices, filters influences, and sustains focus. The aura expands when the purpose is clear. It weakens when its purpose becomes hazy. Napoleon Hill studied brilliant men who never deviated from their central goals. He realized that purpose creates a magnetic force that reorganizes life around it. An aura of success. Interpret this as, when the soul knows where to go, the universe prepares the way. But only an aligned aura can hear the inner compass. Only a high aura can sustain the journey. Only a disciplined aura can overcome distractions. Purpose is energy. Purpose is direction. Purpose is power. Aura and divine time. Just as nature operates in perfect cycles, there's also a time for protests. No tree questions winter. No bird despairs during the waiting period. No seed requires instant flowers. The seed knows. Time is part of the process. The human aura should know the same. What many call delay is just an invisible phase of flowering, the phase in which roots are strengthened, the phase in which the internal structure is created, the phase in which the energy is prepared, the phase in which its vibration is tested. Prosperity does not belong to those who are hasty. It belongs to those who are aligned. The aura and detachment of approval. No vibration becomes strong as long as it depends on the opinions of others. The need to be understood, accepted, or validated is one of the greatest enemies of prosperity. When a person places their energy in the hands of others, its aura loses autonomy, and when it loses autonomy, it loses magnetism. The true aura of success is born when someone declares internally, "I don't need them to understand my purpose in order to follow it. I don't need anyone to approve my vision in order to realize it. To be authentic is to be free." And freedom raises the vibration. And high vibration attracts equivalent results. The aura and wisdom of detachment. Detachment is not indifference. It's about trust. It's about understanding that the universe works in flows, and flows do not respond to despair. They respond to tranquility. When a person clings to fear, the aura contracts. When you cling to control, the energy is blocked. Prosperity requires space, and space is created through detachment. A mind that trusts vibrates at a high frequency. The aura of trust expands. Life flows when you trust. The aura as a reflection of habit. No transformation is permanent unless it is sustained by habit. And no habit is neutral. Each habit either strengthens or weakens the aura. Strengthening habits include inspiring reading, prayer or contemplation, lofty statements, physical activity, intentional silence, daily gratitude, focus on what's essential, visualization of the purpose. Weakening habits include pointless conversation, constant comparison, complaint, excessive consumption of news, toxic environments, repetitive thoughts of fear, lack of direction. Every habit is an energetic signature, and the daily sum of these signatures defines the aura. The advanced level of understanding, the philosophy of aura, is not limited to teaching positivity. She teaches internal power, vibrational domain, emotional responsibility, conscious co-creation. She makes a profound statement. All external reality is a reflection of the energy that you have allowed, ignored, repeated, or strengthened internally. Prosperity is not a destination. It's a consequence. Happiness is not a gift. It is a state of vibration that precedes everything. The aura is the energetic identity that governs your experiences. And when that identity is shaped consciously, life changes not by accident, but through vibrational coherence. The human mind is a fertile garden. And like any garden, it flourishes according to the seeds it receives, and according to the seeds it tolerates. Beliefs are seeds. Some grow fruit trees. Others develop toxic roots that suffocate everything around them. Napoleon Hill observed that beliefs are not random thoughts. They airy emotional convictions, reinforced by repetition and emotion. These are invisible structures that determine what a person deems possible. And here lies one of the most profound laws of the aura. Your aura doesn't vibrate in accordance with what you want. It vibrates according to what you believe you are worthy of receiving. An individual may desire prosperity while holding beliefs such as, "I'm not good enough. Success is too difficult for me. People like me don't win. All joy is temporary. I can't trust the future. I'm always left behind. Life is unfair to me." These beliefs, even when unspoken, create a vibrational field of resistance. And no field of resistance allows for expansion. Therefore, changing beliefs is not just a psychological practice. It is a spiritual practice. It's a vibrational reconstruction. The aura changes when beliefs change. Nothing in the external universe changes as long as the internal vibration remains imprisoned by the same old convictions. Therefore, transforming the aura requires deep reprogramming work. Not just mental, but energetic, emotional, and spiritual. Emotional transmutation, the mastery that defines champion. Hill described transmutation as the process of converting lower emotions into higher creative forces. An aura of success expand on this concept. Transmuting emotions means changing the quality of the energy that fuels your aura. It's not about fighting negative emotions, but to transform them into fuel. For example, fear can turn into attention. Anger can turn into strength. Sadness can turn into depth. Frustration can turn into clarity. Doubt can become a strategy. Anxiety can turn into movement. Nothing is lost when there is awareness. Everything changes. The aura doesn't demand emotional perfection. It demands management. You don't need to eliminate human emotions. It needs to direct them. The difference between defeat and ascension lies in how one uses the available energy. Raw emotion is the raw material. A polished aura is the ultimate diamond. The aura as a reflection of self-respect. Human vibration is not sustained solely by elevated thoughts. It is sustained by aligned decisions. Self-respect is one of those decisions. And few forces elevate one's aura as much as self-respect. Self-respect means, say no to what drains your energy. Reject relationships that drain you. Abandon habits that weaken you, to protect your presence from destructive people. Do not subject yourself to toxic environments. Don't accept crumbs when your purpose demands greatness. When an individual respects themselves, their aura immediately changes frequency. His posture changes, his gaze changes, your energy changes. And the world responds to this change. Life treats you according to what you've learned. Standard of respect that you set for yourself. The aura responds to healthy boundaries with expansion. And it responds to energetic submission with withdrawal. Prosperity only enters where there is vibrational self-respect. The energy of simplicity, the gateway to clarity. Few understand that complexity is the enemy of aura. An overloaded mind does not vibrate. It falls apart. Simplicity is a spiritual force. It's the art of reducing the noise to amplify the essence. It is through simplicity that a person, organize your energy, filter your priorities, breathe better, sees better, it feels better. The aura thrives in light environments, in clear routines, in defined priorities. Modern life glorifies excess, but the aura of worship essence. Everything that is unnecessary is a burden. Anything that weighs you down reduces the frequency. Anything that lowers the frequency limits the magnetism. Simplifying is expanding. The simpler your life becomes, the more space your aura has to grow, the more room it has to grow. The magnetism of presence, the aura that speaks before the word. There's a type of strength that cannot be faked, an energy that precedes the word, a vibration that precedes any action. It's the power of presence. Presence is the impact your aura has on others even before you open your mouth. It's the energetic impression you leave when you enter a space. It's the stability that others feel when they get closer. It is the quiet field that communicates confidence, direction, and purpose. Presence is consolidated energy. Consolidated energy is a strengthened aura. A weak aura asks for approval. A strong aura inspires respect. A faint aura enters a room, attempting to be accepted. A strong aura enters and changes the quality of the environment. Napoleon Hill studied this in great leaders. Their presence was magnetic, not because of external power, but because of the internal energy they carried. An aura of success teaches that presence is built through emotional control, clarity of purpose, intentional silence, unwavering focus, high vibration, self-control, coherence between speech and energy. When the presence is strong, life responds in harmony. Energy coherence. When thought, emotion, and action align, The aura is strengthened when there is coherence. It becomes fragmented when there is internal contradiction. Consistency is when that which you think, that which you feel, what you believe, and what you do, they are pointing in the same direction. When this alignment exists, the vibrational field intensifies. Energy flows without resistance. The aura becomes magnetic. Inconsistency, on the other hand, it's when someone desires one thing but feels something else entirely. When someone desires prosperity, but acts as if they fear scarcity. When you crave love, but feel a sense of abandonment. When you seek success, but fear being seen. Inconsistency empties the aura. Consistency strengthens it. Being energetically coherent means being honest with yourself. It's about living in truth. It's about walking with vibrational integrity. The aura flourishes in the realm of coherence. The aura and the architecture of the future. The future is not a fixed destiny. It's an energy-efficient construction. With each choice, you shape the landscape that will determine your next steps. With each sustained emotion, you adjust the vibration that will attract future experiences. With each repeated thought, you draw the map that will guide your opportunities. The future is no accident. It's architecture. And the aura is the blueprint of this architecture. When a person understands this, she stops waiting for the future to happen, and it begins to project it vibrationally. She realizes that opportunities are not random events. Synchronicities are not coincidences. Meaningful encounters are not accidents. External changes are not spontaneous. Everything is a response to sustained vibration. The aura creates the future. The future is merely a reflection. Vibrational metanoia, the change that transforms everything. Metanoia is an old term, meaning change of mind. In aura philosophy, it means vibration renewal. It is when the individual fully awakens to the truth. Nothing external has power over my energy. I am the vibrational source of my reality. This moment is a turning point. Everything changes. Nothing is the same. The person ceases to be a victim of the world and becomes the author of her own frequency. She stops seeking validation and begins to project authenticity. She stops reacting to the chaos, and it begins to radiate peace. She stops chasing success, and it starts to attract him. She stops asking the universe, and it starts emitting at the correct frequency. This is the birth of full consciousness. This is the beginning of true prosperity. This is the turning point of the aura. The aura and the power of purpose aligned with emotion. A cold purpose doesn't create vibration. Unbridled emotion doesn't create direction. But when purpose and emotion come together, life gains an irresistible momentum. Napoleon Hill observed that great achievements were born when purpose was fueled by intense emotion, be it faith, love, enthusiasm, service, or grand vision. An aura of success. This phenomenon is described as vibrational ignition. When a person knows what he wants, she feels deeply because she wants to, and believes that he can achieve. His aura becomes a force field. Nothing stays the same. Nothing can withstand it. Nothing can stop her. Purpose plus emotion equals multiplied vibration. Multiplied vibration equals amplified magnetism. The alchemy of thought, the power that precedes all transformation. In studying the greatest spiritual and material achievers in history, Napoleon Hill noticed an undeniable pattern. They all had an almost supernatural control over their own thoughts. Hill didn't call it magic, but rather mental alchemy, the ability to transform seemingly ordinary thoughts into extraordinary creative forces. An aura of success describes the skill as the ability to purify the mental field, refining it until each thought serves the individual's highest purpose. Thought is the primary material of destiny. It is the invisible brick that builds everything that exists in the visible world. But thought alone is fragile. It is emotion that gives it life. And it is repetition that gives it form. And it is purpose that gives it direction. The average person thinks without realizing the vibrational impact of this. Masters of success think with intention. And this difference creates distinct universes. A pessimistic thought weakens the aura. A disciplined mindset strengthens. A lofty thought illuminates. A constant thought magnetizes. Through the alchemy of thought, the aura comes to serve not as a mirror of the world, but as master of the inner world, shaping the external world according to its dominant vibration. Aura and intuition. The mind that hears the invisible intuition is one of the most underrated tools for prosperity. Many believe it's a matter of chance, instinct, or a passing feeling. But Hill recognized intuition as a superior form of intelligence, a channel of communication between the conscious mind, the subconscious, and the infinite field of possibilities. A aura of success understands intuition as language of the energy field. An aligned aura perceives signs before they become events, recognize opportunities before they become obstacles, sense risks before they become problems. Intuition is the spiritual GPS, but this GPS only works when the vibration is clear, high, and stable. When the aura is polluted by fear, overwhelmed by anxiety, overwhelmed by bad thoughts, or blocked by limiting beliefs, intuition is stifled. But when the aura is centered, conscious, disciplined, at peace with herself, intuition manifests itself as sudden ideas, deep insights, quick insights, feelings of certainty, inexplicable directions. None of this is random. It's vibration. Intuition is the compass of the soul. And the soul can only speak when the aura is open to listen. Vibrational self-control, the art of mastering the invisible. Many want to dominate the external world, but fail because they cannot dominate their own internal world. Vibrational self-control is the ability to maintain an aligned frequency even when the environment tries to shift it. It's when the individual says, "I decide how I feel. I decide what I think. I decide what I give my energy to." This kind of control is rare. But he's the one who defines the greats. Napoleon Hill claimed that the greatest enemy of success is not the lack of opportunity, but the lack of emotional control. An aura of success expand on this teaching. Lack of self-control is a drain on energy, and every escape weakens the aura. Those who cannot control their emotions, reacts on impulse, vibrates at ancient frequencies. It responds to the world and not to purpose. She goes around in emotional circles, but who's in control? Choose your answers. It raises your energy. Preserves its aura. It moves forward towards the destination it envisions. Vibrational self-control does not suppress emotions. He directs. He channels. He transforms every emotion into fuel for growth. Vibrational discipline, the invisible muscle of success. If there is one universal truth about prosperity, it is this: discipline creates what enthusiasm cannot sustain. Enthusiasm is like fire. Discipline is structure. Enthusiasm lifts the spirit. Discipline builds the legacy. Vibrational discipline is the daily practice of maintaining the frequency that corresponds to the desired future, even when the mind tries to return to the comfort of the past. It consists of small actions repeated deliberately. To wake up with intention, choose elevated thoughts, reject toxic influences, maintain healthy habits, protect the focus, nurture gratitude, to preserve inner silence. Each of these actions strengthens the aura. A strengthened aura is fertile ground for prosperity. There is no luck where there is discipline. There is a result. Aura and identity, the transformation that changes destinies in the heart of aura of success. This is the principle of identity. Everything in life is filtered through the identity you uphold. Identity is not a collection of memories. It is a vibrational state that you have learned to repeat. And like any repetition, it can be changed. Napoleon Hill said, "You are not your past. You are what you choose to become." The philosophy of aura complements this. You are not your story. You are your dominant vibration. Identity is vibration. Vibration creates an aura. Aura creates reality. When someone decides to change their identity, She begins to change. Posture, beliefs, habits, thoughts, emotions, decisions, limits, energy. Life responds to this change immediately. A new identity creates a new aura, and a new aura creates a new destiny. The aura and the power of decision. Every great transformation begins with a decision. Not emotional, but vibrational. A true decision is not merely a mental one, it's energetic. That's when the aura says, I'm not going back to the old version of myself. I no longer accept what weakens me. I no longer get excited about anything that diminishes me. I choose my expansion. I choose my purpose. I choose my prosperity. At the moment of that decision, something changes in the vibration. Decisions, and this change alters the course of life. Decisions are portals. And the aura passes through these portals, even before physical reality perceives it. The aura and the law of non-resistance, emotional resistance, is one of the biggest causes of vibrational blockages. When someone resists, to the present, to the past, given the circumstances, to himself, to emotions, to people, this resistance generates tension. And voltage is always a drop in vibration. The philosophy of aura teaches that prosperity does not flow in tension. It flows in conscious surrender. It's not about giving up, but about stopping the fight against the inevitable. It's about using the present as leverage, and not as an enemy. The law of non-resistance states, the more you oppose what is, the more energy you lose. The more you accept it, the more energy you gain. Acceptance sets you free. Tension imprisons. The aura flourishes when there is room to breathe. Aura and the art of elevating oneself. Elevating your aura is elevating yourself. And this increase doesn't happen in a single day. It happens through thousands of micro-choices that strengthen a thriving identity. To rise is, choose peace instead of chaos. Choose gratitude instead of despair. Choose focus instead of distraction. Choose purpose over confusion. Choose discipline instead of laziness. Choose expansion instead of fear. Every choice resonates. And each vibration builds. Elevating the aura is a process of continuous refinement. There's no endpoint. There's evolution. The higher you rise, the greater your aura becomes. Clear, strong, bright, magnetizing. And yet the universe responds to the new pattern. Aura and practical spirituality. The aura is spiritual, but its application is practical. She doesn't live only in the subtle realm. It manifests itself in everyday life. In the way you walk, in the way you speak, in the way it decides, in the way he thinks, the way it positions itself, in the way it reacts, in the way it is handled, in the way he treats others. The spirituality of the aura is not evasive. It is concrete. She is not asking for isolation. It calls for awareness. She doesn't demand perfection. It requires presence. She doesn't demand to know everything. It requires knowing who you are, and who is he becoming. The aura is the bridge between the inner and outer worlds. It is living proof that spirituality and prosperity go hand in hand. Aura and the art of creating consciousness, the birth of the co-creator. At the highest stage of aura, of success, something extraordinary happens. The individual understands that he is not just living life, is consciously creating life. Most people react. Few people create. Even fewer realize that creation is a vibrational act before it is material. A co-creator is someone who directs your focus, manage your emotions, discipline your thinking, organize your energy, and sustains a vibration that attracts equivalent experiences. There's no mystery to it. There is awareness. The aura is the pre-field where everything is decided. The physical world is merely the stage where the inner decision becomes visible. Thus, the co-creator understands that each thought is a brushstroke, each emotion is a color, each choice is a trait, each habit is an outline, and each vibration is the final brilliance of the painting. Life is art. The aura is the artist. And the individual is the channel through which creation manifests itself. Prosperity as a vibrational state, not as a consequence. The common mindset believes that prosperity is the result of extreme effort, ideal circumstances, or rare opportunities. But in aura philosophy, prosperity is to tenor to consequence. It is a vibration that precedes resources, opportunities, connections, solutions, open doors. When the aura enters a state of prosperity, everything around begins to reorganize itself to align with this frequency. Spiritual prosperity does not depend on economy, market, policy, other people's opinion, perfect timing. It depends solely on the dominant vibration. True prosperity begins when a person stops trying to be rich, and it begins to vibrate like someone who already possesses everything they need to create wealth. Wealth is energy, and energy creates circumstances. The magnetism of aligned actions, aura in motion action alone, does not create prosperity. The world is full of people who do a lot of action and make little progress. Why? Because action without alignment leads to wear and tear. Action without passion is wasted effort. Acting out of fear is sabotage. Action based on doubt leads to delay. But when the action stems from an aligned aura, she becomes magnetic. Aligned action is action. Without anxiety, without rushing, without despair, without insecurity, without fear of losing. This is a lawsuit filed by clarity, intuition, purpose, trust, high vibration. In this situation, each step generates multiplied results. Each movement attracts new synchronicities. Every gesture expands the energy field. Every decision strengthens identity. A moving aura creates momentum. Momentum creates destiny. The aura that serves, the flame that expands to illuminate others. There's a subtle law in the universe of prosperity. When you become a source, the source never runs dry. Serving, in the view of aura of success, it's not about sacrificing yourself. It is expand your light so that others may awaken their own. It's about understanding that when you uplift someone, your vibration rises. When she inspires someone, her aura shines. When you help someone grow, your own identity is strengthened. Everything you give in good faith returns an amplified vibration. Prosperity is expansion. And nothing expands one's aura more than contributing to the growth of others. This is not moralizing. It's energy. Light increases when shared. Love grows when it is given. Wisdom deepens when taught. Prosperity multiplies when it circulates. You don't become poor by giving. You become richer by vibrating with generosity. A prosperous mind, the last three laws of the aura. As the individual approaches the vibrational peak, three final laws are revealed. 1. The law of constant elevation. The aura never remains static. It either goes up or it goes down. Therefore, daily self-improvement is the essence of the path. Elevation is renew thoughts, strengthen habits, refine emotions, recalibrate focus, adjust vibration. A superior life requires superior maintenance. 2. The law of final resonance. Everything in life is attracted by resonance. If you radiate greatness, you attract greatness. If doubt resonates, it attracts uncertainty. If you vibrate with abundance, you attract opportunities. If you vibrate with scarcity, you attract obstacles. Life doesn't deliver what is asked for, delivers what is issued. 3. The law of elevated identity. You don't attract what you desire. Attract awakened. The ultimate frontier of the aura is to become the very vibration that one seeks. Not just wishing for prosperity, but to be prosperous. Not just wishing for peace, but to be at peace. Not just wishing for success, but to be successful. When being and desire become one, the universe has no choice, he replies. The aura as a path to inner freedom. The ultimate goal of aura of success, it's not about accumulating possessions, but to liberate humankind from the prisons that have kept it small all its life. Fear, insecurity, self-criticism, doubt, resentment, comparison, emotional dependency. Let's sabotage the car. Fragmented vibration. When the aura is healed, the being is healed. When the aura expands, life expands. When the aura strengthens, destiny grows stronger. Prosperity is merely the ultimate reflection of this liberation. The crowning of the aura, life lived at the highest frequency. The journey reaches its peak when a person realizes that their aura is not just an idea. It is your greatest asset. The human spirit was created to grow, expand, illuminate, thrive, transform, co-create. The aura is the instrument of this expansion. When the aura reaches its highest strength, life becomes lighter, more fluid, more synchronized, most abundant, fuller, most significant. Not because everything becomes perfect, but because the individual becomes capable of thriving even amidst imperfections. That is true freedom. That's true success. That is true power. The sacred conclusion, the immortality of the aura of success. An aligned aura affects more than just the present. It echoes into the future. It transforms generations. It opens paths that will continue to exist long after the person is gone. This is the invisible legacy, but eternal. This is the legacy taught by Napoleon Hill. This is the legacy that the channel aura of success perpetua. The idea that every great life begins with a great vibration. And every great vibration begins with the decision to protect one's own energy, to elevate one's own mind, mastering one's own focus, expand one's own identity, to serve generously, living with purpose, sustain its own light, and never accept a frequency lower than the one you were born for. The moment a person decides this, aura muta, life changes, destiny changes, and the world, inevitably, follows suit.